Hello, hello. A very warm welcome to Talking Couch, a flagship podcast channel of the Psycholingo. I'm your host, psychologist Anam, live from Hamburg, Germany, excited, happy, and filled with gratitude. I'm so glad to have you all tuned in today as we explore this year's Mental Health Awareness Month's theme, and that is where to start our journey towards a good mental health. Mental Health Awareness Month, celebrated annually in the month of May, is all about creating a space to talk about your mental well-being, raising awareness and breaking the stigma around mental health challenges, creating that open dialogue, touching inspiring recovery stories, and much more. So this year's theme is where to start. It really resonates with many one of us and especially touched me closely. And I wanted to create a special episode, like a full episode discussing whether you've already begun your journey towards a good mental health, better mental health, or you're just thinking about it. One of the hardest parts definitely can be figuring out where to begin. Like, I know my mess, I know that it has been degrading, but where do I just gather everything together and start? And how do I recognize and how do I proceed? It's overwhelming sometimes, right? So on and off, we've all been there. Life gets busy, it's our routine, and the stressful situation persists, and it's compelling and competitive. And suddenly our mental health feels like something that we are always putting off. We have no time for the little efforts towards nourishing our inner self, often neglected. Something we'll deal with when we have more time in hand or more energy, or maybe it will just get automatically better. Maybe I'll just go on shopping and buy that dress which I have just added in my cart, or maybe I'll just go and meet some friends outside, or maybe I'll just switch careers, or maybe I'll just get a new haircut, maybe I'll buy a lollipop. I don't know what, but it will just get automatically better. But no matter what I do, it is just remaining the same. But here's a bitter truth: there will never be a perfect time to start, and there will never come a situation so ideal that now is the time that I will just start and begin my journey. It will not automatically get better, like with time or with ongoing situation. Like working for physical health, we need the right strategy, knowledge about our body functions, nourishments, and other things. Similarly, mental health will require a plan, a strategy, some actions and steps, knowledge and awareness. It's about starting small, taking it all simple, achievable steps, and that's exactly what we are going to talk about today. In this episode, we are talking about from a psychologist's lens, what it is like to take small achievable steps towards a positive well-being. I'll also try to educate you on psychological counseling and therapy. I'll also try to decomplicate your life when it involves taking certain decisions regarding your mental health, and we will also engage ourselves in some self-exploratory activities which will help you understand the direction or that first step towards a better or a positive mental health. We'll also try to address some negative beliefs that we might hold or we might be holding that might be keeping us away in taking these actions towards good mental health. So hopefully I'm able to retain your attention till the end, and hopefully we are with one another till the end of the episode and you take the maximum out of it. Let's delve deeper into the hows and whys of our mind and try to explore workable techniques to stay sane in this insane world, crazy world. So let's begin and stay tuned. Starting our discussion in this direction, so first it's important to understand why is it really important for me to start. Like, till the time I do not have that need of something in life, until and unless we are not creating that demand that I need to start. Feeling the need is important, the deficiency of something, so that we make a plan to fulfill it, refill it, because we are not taking it as important, or we are not taking it as something missing out in life. First step is to create that pull, that demand, that something is needed here, something which needs your attention and steps and actions. So that need for better mental health is felt. It has been neglected, degrading all these years because we have neglected it to this level. And now we learn some strategies to improve it. So first step is the need that we feel and we need to feel. So why at all people are not able to recognize and acknowledge their mental health signs? So why do I not feel it every day and I have ignored it, and why haven't I taken actions towards it? So it is because the whole concept of mind, mental processes, mental illnesses, mental experiences is all abstract. Like brain is a physical organ. We can, deploy certain machines, and we have testing tools to know about the brain activities and generate a report to understand how it's performing today. Sadly, we cannot do that with our minds and underlying mental processes to know what is there in our consciousness right now. So emotions and feelings are something that you experience as an overall feeling in your body, and it is communicated through hormones and neural activities in the brain, your heart, and the flow of blood in the veins. So the sadness or depression is not something that you can evaluate on an ECG or an EEG graph. So often it makes it difficult for people to make other people in their life understand about their degrading conditions, about their mental health conditions, because there is no blood report to show the amount of low mood or toxicity that runs in your blood right now, or the depressive feeling that you have, or the anxiousness that you feel in your gut. So the most challenging part of all is that because something that we cannot see or touch or hear, we have to take care of it. So it is abstract. We can't physically feel it or test it or prove it. You might not even know where to look for it. So that's why we, psychologists or counselors or psychiatrists or other mental health professionals, are working to help you understand it all the right way, as much as we can, or as much as it is possible. The earliest signs that we feel that something is not right inside our system, it is the various areas in our life, and we are not performing up to the level of our expectations. So that is the first signal that you will get. Maybe it is your dissatisfaction that you feel overall. You feel that disconnect. Your work life is not going that well. You feel a little burned out. You are not able to connect yourself well with your family. The relationships in your life is falling apart, or it is the financial or emotional instability that you are just experiencing. So we are not just very confident in so many walks of our life, in so many areas of our life, which is leaving us with a lot of questions. So we start to take some suggestions from other people around us. That is like something that we will be doing as someone who's living in a society surrounded with people. So we will try to ask questions like, I'm undergoing the situation, and I've not been feeling so motivated lately, and this is like a situation which is not helping me. So there are so many people who would just come up to you and suggest you things like, you have relationship advisors, then you have work related advisors, like change your job, why you're stuck there, and you should just change career, we have better prospects in this company. Or maybe there are number of other suggestions like go take a break, go somewhere, or you must just get married, because I think you have a lot of time to overthink. So once you start a family, once you're married, you do not have time for XYZ to give a lot of thought to. Maybe you should change career, as I said, so make a profile there or here and start meeting new people and go on this mountain journey. I don't know what, I mean, you can imagine a whole set of suggestions that you can get from your loved ones and family and friends and all the people who surround you in your network. So in your phone, you're all prepared to take up all of that suggestion. So you have an app where you're buying your clothes. There's an app you're deciding for your shoes. There's an app who's taking care of your social life, your dating life, an app which keeps a toll of your mental health or your physical health, your heartbeat, your calorie intake. So you're surrounded surrounded with all the possible solutions that people have just thrown on you. But after recurrent hidden trials, nothing works to lift my depression or my overall mental health just doesn't get better. So here's what the secret is. As a psychologist, as a mental health practitioner all these years, I want to share with you today that a start doesn't have to be complicated. And often the first step has to come from you, from inside of you. And in fact, the reality lies in simple, uncomplicated, minimalist approaches to your inner world. Slow it down, calm down, and first we have to take that step in reaching us that we have just disconnected. We have disconnected ourselves from ourselves, so that is the first connection that we will build, that small step we will take in order to know where to begin and where to start and what to start. So you don't need to fix everything which is there in the outside world or make sweeping changes in your life overnight. Mental health is a journey. We will walk slowly on it. So the first step towards better mental health, for me, according to me, as a mental health practitioner, is the moment you will pause. You will just take that day off. You will pause your life. You will pause all the noises around you. You will just isolate yourself, sit in solace, and ask a few questions to know what is happening inside of you. That is the first simple step you will take, is to connect with your own self. Possibly write and record your answers. We can do it together, I guess. That's also a nice idea, that we do it together in this podcast episode, that you just close your eyes and sit somewhere where it is a little silent and there is no distraction, and ask these questions and try to focus on my voice and ask these important things to yourself and try to answer it in your head and try to record it. Like, pause the episode when you hear the question, or you can just try to note down the answers to these questions. So here are these questions. I would start by asking myself, hey, beautiful soul, how have you been feeling lately? Where and what kind of emotions do I feel in my body right now? Like, maybe it is a headache which just doesn't go. Maybe it's the chest pain which is so alarming that has just started recently. Maybe it is that excessive thirst that I have no reason for, or maybe I'm sweating a lot these days and it's just doesn't feel so comfortable with these physical symptoms that I experience, sudden changes that I experience in my body right now. Maybe I would like to notice that for a few seconds. Or maybe it is that sudden cry spells that I keep getting because I feel something emotional here and there and I'm not able to take it, and I just feel the urge to cry it out. Maybe it's the angry outbursts that are getting uncontrollable, or it's the heart that keeps beating so fast that I just would like to tell you to slow it down. What is it that bothers you? And how were actually my last days? Like, I haven't taken that time to pause and ask myself that, how were these past days, even if they were routine and boring and usual, but does it really help me feel better? Am I feeling adjusted? Am I feeling positive? Am I feeling motivated? Do I feel something wrong in the past days? What are some of these challenges or current situations in my life which has just been a drastic change? And what kind of support system do I have in my hand to combat these challenges? Do I have some in my hand in my situation right now? Am I experiencing a big change in life? Are there some areas in my life which I have not been doing so well? Personal, professional, family, social, very, very personal life which you share with yourself, not being comfortable with my body, my skin type, am I gaining weight, looking ugly? Has it bothered me how I look in the mirror? Is aging affecting me? I don't know. But some area is not going so well. And do I feel overall lonely in my life? Have I isolated a lot? Am I not meeting good people? Have I not revised my social network? I haven't met a good or charming face, a new soul in my life in years? And I'm just relying on the people who are just staying with me like constant. Am I not adding new people in my life? I do feel that sometimes there is toxicity around. How am I dealing with that? The negativity which just surrounds me. Is it getting too much? Am I losing the balance lately? Let's explore why. I mean, these are the self-administered questions which I will ask myself when I sit in silence, and that will be the first step I will take in the direction of working towards my mental health. Because the answers to these important questions is actually telling me what's going on, what's wrong, and what I need to change, and how much am I in control of the situation. So that's why I keep asking myself that, do you have the support you need to combat these challenges? Support in the sense, do you have someone who can help you out? Are you able to help yourself out is also a question to think about. So one of a sudden, you suddenly realize that these are the things which are, rolling in my life, and I'm surrounded, and that dominates my consciousness lately. So I'm going to strategize a plan. Now that I know it, I have acknowledged it, I'm more aware of it. So I have to make changes on 3 levels. So one is something that I will change in my environment, in my social life, that is outside of me, and something I will change inside of me at a psychological or a personal level. And also I have to make changes on the biological and physiological level, because the heart will not stop beating on its own, the headaches won't go away on its own, the sweats and the low energy or anything that you feel physically in the body, that also needs to be taken care of. So again, it's going to be outside that I make a change and realize what I do in my outside world, something that I change in my environment, something I change at a personal level, at a psychological level, and something that I have to change or take a step towards physiological symptoms that I see in my body. So to build the contingency plan for tackling all the 3 levels that we just talked about, sometimes you just need vital life skills, emotional intelligence, managing your complex emotions, thinking and decision making, or it is parenting, or it is relationship conflicts management, or it is communication as a skill. I don't know. We need a set of tools, and there are important life skills or psychological skills that we need to help us come out of these situations. Sometimes there are some people who are able to learn from other people's experiences, and they are self-learners and they can get themselves out of it. But sometimes you feel that it's not something that you can do it on your own, and it's a little complicated, and the ways that you have adopted, it's not working. After the hit and trials, you've seen that it's getting out of your hand, and you are not able to get out yourself out of the situation because you do not have the right tools to fix the problem. So that's where in psychological counseling and therapy will be really beneficial for you. We as a psychologist, if you prefer to let us in your life, we will become like good teachers to you, a comforting mother, like a mentor, like an inspiring light that will help you develop certain skills, help you acknowledge your current situation in hand, make you more aware of it, and put you off the autopilot mode that you are living your life on. And that will just help you build a more realistic plan for all these situations in hand. So there's a lot of miscommunication and misinformation about therapy. So now that you know your problems in hand, you have analyzed a good internal and external situation of yours, that you know what is that you are experiencing and what is your current situation outside, and you've decided that you need some skills, but you are approaching therapy. So we all are humans, and we are build up of a complex system, like we have certain influences from the environment encouraging us or discouraging us to pick or not pick something. So when it comes to psychological counseling and therapy, people often do not approach it with a lot of good hopes because there is a lot of misinformation. I do believe that many of us are kind of not approaching these services because we do not know what happens in it. We do not know where to knock at the right door. So I think first step would also be like a simple step. First was to acknowledge your internal and external situation that we just did. And second is that you just look out for some negative attitudes that you might hold, that, therapy is not for me, and I do not know where to knock, and what is it that we do in a therapeutic sessions like that. It is just a talk therapy with a different human being. I do not have a relationship with this person. What will I end up talking about? So all of these discourage you to approach certain services, and then you're not able to develop the right tools, pick up the right tools and develop right skills that you need to combat these situations. So you are not able to approach help because there is misinformation and stigma and negative attitude, because misinformation is there. First is to educate yourself, watch some videos, read some blogs, know about how people go in therapy, what they learn from it. There's a whole flood of information online. Like, you go to YouTube, type in simple, or maybe I'll also build in further episodes on psychological counseling and therapy and what is the difference between the two, role of a psychologist in your life, and how we take up clients and work. And to just brief you up, imagine that there is a very, very warm, shiny, silent space that I provide you as a psychologist, and you come into my practice. You just talk unfiltered about your problems, and I give you that deep listening and empathy and love and compassion and all the positivity, non-judgmental environment to you to grow your thoughts, to help you understand your situation better, to help you develop a skill that you might lack. So it is that therapeutic space which provides you the ground for betterment, for nourishment in life. So sadly, a lot of negative attitude and misinformation, and that we had not educated enough, that really discourages us in approaching certain services. But I will be making a separate episode on stigmas and how it impacts our life and discourages us in taking good steps towards mental health and all of that. Proceeding towards ending the episode is like making certain vital lifestyle changes is essential. So first is like the small steady step that you have taken to analyze your problem, approaching help, understanding your inner world. So now that without lifestyle changes, it is often not possible. So I recommend as a psychologist that you go on, love your body, nourish it, have a full night's sleep of 7 to 8 hours. Consider certain nighttime routine which might just help you have a good sleep hygiene and good night's sleep, like maintain a good temperature in your room. There's a light, a bedside table lamp that might just help you, or a dark room. Just explore your options of a good night's sleep and how that can help you relax a little bit. Have music around, aroma around. I don't know what might just work best for you. Also, when it comes to nourishing your body, it's also about nutrients like vitamin D3, omega-3, and magnesium, for example, sodium. These are really, really important to help you balance certain neurotransmitters in your body and your hormones, and that has a very direct impact on how you feel as a person, as a soul. So important to keep a check. Consider doing regular screening tests and everything. Build a routine that works for you, like a nighttime routine. As I just said, morning routines are important. Cook yourself a good breakfast, stay motivated, journal your thoughts, light your homes, like have a minimalist approach, get away all the things that you're not using in your daily life, make space for your mind and body to grow. And that routine will help you. Like Monday to Friday, I have this strict routine, and Saturday, Sunday, I give myself liberty to do that and this. Incorporate a lot of hobbies. Build an active lifestyle. Like, I don't know what works for you. Like, we can also discuss it in a very separate episode of lifestyle, because I think this topic needs a lot of heavy discussions. I can also bring in a lot of research back studies, and then you can explore your ways around it. But routine is important. Set healthy boundaries. Learn to say no. Like, we have to collaborate with people who live with us in that network. We can't do away with the people or society. So that is not the way to shut everybody outside. So the best ways to develop collaborative strategies with people we interact with daily, emotionally or professionally. So sometimes we are not prepared for certain responsibilities and roles. We are encouraged to say no. And we are also to open up expressions and dialogues when it comes to relationship management, and understand your emotions around people. And boundaries is essential, and healthy boundaries, which is open to light and music and vibe exchange. It's not like isolating yourself in a room. So healthy boundaries is important. Digital detox, like screen time, has to be managed and looked for. Then we have build strong relationship and support connection and social connection around you. Often this is important because you need help and they need help as well. So collaboration is important. Wrapping up this discussion with a small conclusion and certain takeaways. So small steps matter. Start with your own inner self. Ask these important questions to yourself today. Sit in silence, meditate, note down the answers to these questions. Look out for any negative attitudes and beliefs you hold towards better mental health or towards approaching therapy or psychologist. You don't need to be mentally ill, like having a significant depression or anxiety for it. Therapy is for everyone. Once in a lifetime, people do enter therapy, and it's a long-term journey where you end up realizing who you are as a person. And don't just wait for the things to just build up inside your system. Start today, start easy. Take a deep breath, slow down, pause a little in life, calm down, journal your thoughts. It's really important. Keep breathing. Keep noticing that you are a breathing, beautiful soul. Take a pledge today to keep it personal, simple, and easy. Mental health is for everyone. Promise yourself to give counseling and therapy a try. Reach out to us today to know more about it. Explore some links that I have given in the description. Remember, taking care of your mental health is not a destination but a journey. So step by step, we'll experience changes, and we can do it together. You're not alone in this journey. That's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me and holding your attention till the end. Remember to take care of yourself and each other around. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, share this powerful message with your dear ones around. Follow us on our social media for new updates. Check out our website for booking up a therapy session with me, or visit great courses made on psychology. Until next time, this is your psychologist Anam, signing off for now. Ciao, auf Wiedersehen.